I'm a Scot and I'm married. Two things I can't help. I'm married, but I have no wife, for she bolted and left me. But that's nothing new. It happens so often in life. So I went up to London, for that's where she'd gone with her lover to hide her disgrace. And though London's a big place, I swore I'd not rest till I searched every street in the place. And I tramped, how I tramped, weary mile upon mile, till exhausted and ready to drop. But I wouldn't give in, so I hopped on a bus and I took a front seat on the top. It came to a stop in a brightly lit square. To my joy, there my lassie I spied, looking weary and worn, but, thank heaven, alone. From my heart, "Maggie, Maggie," I cried. She gave a wee cry as I jumped to my feet. Then a terrible thought made me wince. I couldn't get off, for I'd paid my fare. And I haven't caught sight of her since. There's a breathless hush in the close night, 10 to make and the match to win, a bumping pitch and a blinding light, and an hour to play and the last man in. And it's not for the sake of a ribboned coat or the selfish hope of a season's fame, but the captain's hand on his shoulder smote. Play up, and play the game. The sands of the desert are sodden red, red with the wreck of a square that broke. The Gatlings jammed and the colonel dead, and the regiment blinded with dust and smoke. The rivers of death have brimmed its banks, and England's far, and honour a name. But the voice of a schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up and play the game. This is the world that year by year, while in its place the school is set, every one of its sons must hear, and none that hear it dare forget. This we all with a joyful mind bear through life like a torch in flame, and falling fling to the host behind. Play up, and play the game. In the Tower of London, large as life, the ghost of Anne Boleyn walks, they declare. Queen Anne Boleyn was once King Henry's wife, until he had the headsman bob her hair. Alas, he did her wrong long years ago, and she comes back at night to tell him so. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower, with her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. I think we'll go up a key or two. Anyway, she comes to call King Henry. She wants to give him what for? Gadzooks, she's very mad with him for having spilled her gore. And just in case the headsman wants to give her an encore, she has her head tucked underneath her arm. I'll go up a bit. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. Around the drafty corridors for miles and miles she goes. She's always catching cold, poor thing. It's cold there when it blows. And it's awfully awkward for the Queen to have to blow her nose. With her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. Sometimes gay King Henry gives the spread for all his gals and pals and ghostly crew. The headsman carves the meat and cooks the bread, and along comes Anne Boleyn to clear the do. She holds her head up with a Wild War whoop, and Henry says, don't drop it in the soup. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. The sentries think that it's a football that she carries in, and when they've had a few they say, is Arsenal going to win? They think she's actually cold instead of poor old Anne Boleyn, with her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. One night she caught King Henry. He were in the canteen bar. He said, are you Jane Seymour, Anne Boleyn or Catherine Parr? For all the sweets and fairy Anne, shall I know who you are? With your head tucked underneath your arm.
That was great.